Hello friends, today is January 15th, 2026. Let's dig into all the recent video game news and industry insights. First, let's talk about Arc Raiders. The game continues to collect headlines as it passes yet another milestone. With 12 million copies sold and revenue presumably surpassing $350 million. According to Rhys Elliott, an analyst at Alinea Analytics, Arc Raiders continues to win over hearts and minds of gamers worldwide. And aside from the impressive numbers, the game also recently achieved the highest number of daily active users, approximately 3.2 million, which, needless to say, is quite impressive for a third-person extraction shooter released just a few months ago. While this data is not official, it's pretty obvious that this one is becoming a force to be reckoned with. For a premium live service game to generate such a strong daily user engagement and effective post-launch momentum is quite rare. Most games in this genre don't come near these numbers, at least not during the first few months. To put things in perspective, this game is reaching, or maybe even surpassing, the levels of Helldivers 2, and showing quite similar numbers in units sold in the same timeline. I honestly think the success of this game could be good for the industry, and definitely confirms the earlier assumptions that extraction shooters might become a new MOBA or Battle Royales. The case of Arc Raiders also proves that premium extraction shooters can succeed commercially, potentially influencing even more developers who are on the fence about this niche. And I think with the response that this game is getting, it's pretty clear it's with us for the long life service cycle. Speaking of Arc Raiders, its success on the multiplayer stage has started to attract attention from TV and movie production companies. According to Insider Gaming, in a recent interview, the CEO of Embark Studios shared that several companies have already reached out to him about a potential adaptations. And he actually thinks that it would be fun to see the game represented in that area. Specifically, he said, "I can't tell you how many companies have reached out wanting to make a TV series or movie out of this IP. And with the game conquering more and more frontiers, it's becoming a big recognizable brand. And it's only natural that Hollywood wants to capitalize on that as well." That being said, the CEO expressed how important this adaptation is to be done in the right way. And frankly speaking, it is true for every IP. While TV shows like The Last of Us, at least Season 1, and Fallout continue to generate enormous amount of interest, there are cases like the Borderlands movie, which was a complete box office disaster. So it's likely that this prospect will remain in the back pocket of Embark Studios until they make some long-term plans for the game. What do you think about a potential show or movie based on Arc Raiders? Also, quick thing. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alex, I'm a game producer and I'm here to help you get caught up on everything that's going on in the video game industry. Switching gears a little bit, let's talk about ZeniMax. Last year, the studio that brought us The Elder Scrolls Online lost one of its founders, Matt Firor, after yet another round of layoffs and project cancellations at Xbox. Everyone was wondering why, and recently Firor finally shared what led to his departure. In a recently shared LinkedIn post, a game industry veteran shared that his decision to resign was a direct result of Xbox's cancellation of Project Blackbird, an unannounced MMORPG that was in development at ZeniMax Online Studios. Said to be a brand new sci-fi IP, this game has been in development since 2018, and right before it was scheduled to enter full production, the parent company pulled the plug, which, unsurprisingly, upset a lot of people, including Firor, who decided to leave the company immediately after that. According to his message, Project Blackbird was the game that I had waited my entire career to create, and having it cancelled led to my resignation. My heart and thoughts are always with the impacted team members, many of whom I had worked 20 plus years with, and all of whom were the most dedicated, amazingly talented group of developers in the industry. While his departure is huge for ZeniMax, as it lost one of its foundational leaders in the MMO space, the decision to cancel a big MMORPG project is unsurprising in the current state of the industry. Such a big endeavor requires a steady stream of investment and tends to have a long return horizon, meaning that it would take ZeniMax years to finish it and probably at least twice that for Xbox or the company to see any profits. And this is something major companies are trying to avoid like fire these days. The less risk, the better. I think this trend will likely to continue in 2026, which means we will probably see less and less innovation and new IPs, at least from Microsoft. Moving on, and I'm not sure how I missed this before, but one of the biggest franchises in the stealth game genre is about to return with a new title. Almost 10 years after the release of the previous game, Styx is back in Blades of Greed, scheduled to be released on February 19, 2026. The game was announced in early 2025 and went completely silent after that, and only recently started to gain momentum again with the new gameplay footage being shared and additional details. The game is set to continue in the Of Orcs and Men world, where you play as Styx, a cunning goblin with a caustic sense of humor who has mastered the art of stealth. According to the official description, Styx Blades of Greed refines the proven formula of the first two games by making freedom and creativity central to the experience. Explore vast vertical environments and master new tools and powers. Whether you're discovering Styx for the first time or you're a long-time fan, it has never been so exciting to be greedy. No more working with others. This time, our famous green-skinned friend is pursuing his own goal and leading his own crew. Aboard his Zeppelin, Styx and his crew hunt down a new mysterious power source, quartz. And while it all sounds great for the people who like stealth games, and with all the previous titles being quite well received, this genre continues to be very niche. Perhaps with deeper core mechanics and more freedom, this game might become something else. But so far, the biggest game on the market is still Hitman, and Styx sounds more and more like a solid AA game for a small but dedicated audience, rather than a big flashy blockbuster to redefine the genre and attract a lot of new players. At least that's what I think. What are your thoughts on this upcoming little gem? Moving on to some tech demos. With Resident Evil Requiem's release steadily approaching, a new trailer surfaced online. Shared by NVIDIA, it's showcasing a new 4K path tracing and NVIDIA DLSS 4. The video highlights cityscape visuals with dense lighting, shadows, and reflections that aim to convey a grim atmosphere of the title, and also highlight that the upcoming title is optimized for a wide range of platforms and configurations. But even with the game looking as amazing as it is, and solidifying it as a graphical milestone for the franchise, the true success will depend on the gameplay evolution, not on how many shadows it can render. Still, quite impressive. Speaking of upcoming projects, Sandfall Interactive recently talked about their upcoming title after Expedition 33, and how the success of the previous title influencing their next project. While we still don't know exactly what the studio is developing, in an interview with Edge magazine shared by GameRant, the French studio shared some interesting thoughts. For example, according to the chief operating officer of the company, they are definitely feeling the pressure after such an immense success. But both he and lead writer said that it's quote-unquote not important, as the studio will continue to follow their own instincts and quote-unquote our own personal taste when developing their next game. Hopefully, it doesn't mean that the studio will ignore the feedback of players entirely. Doing that risks missing opportunities to refine core systems that fans loved and might impact the success of their next title in a big way. And lastly, Sony recently filed a patent for an AI that will play the games for you. Yep, you heard it right. According to a recent report from Video Games Chronicle, the company patented a new technology called Ghost Player. Per the patent, if a player reaches a part of the game that they cannot complete, they would see players call down an AI-generated ghost version of themselves, which could either play out the solution to a particular part of the level or complete it entirely. The system is pitched as a supporting tool for players who struggle with puzzles or specific parts of the game, and it is claimed that the AI model would be trained on existing footage of the game, as opposed to being pre-recorded series of input sets by developers. But so far, we haven't heard anything about how Sony plans to use this technology. And I honestly think it's quite possible that it's just another shelf patent, nothing more. What do you think about this tech being part of the PS5 suite? And that's all I have for you today, friends. As usual, if you want to know more, all links are in the description. And of course, clicking the like button helps this channel and brings you more and more interesting news each week. Subscribe if you're new, as I put out new videos every week. Thank you for making it this far, have a great rest of the day, and that's Alex signing off for now. Cheers!